Hello, welcome back to TARTLEcast. Beautiful day here in sunny New Mexico because 300 days of the year, it is sunny.
Sunny all the time.
Which is good. I'm never going to feel
Everyone
any
else
depression.
are losers.
Yeah. Everybody else with those clouds, stormy
You're
weather.
from Massachusetts. I'm from Seattle. Oh, let me check. Seattle, 45 and cloudy. What's Massachusetts right now?
Oh, it's got to be freezing and gray.
The other day I was outside with a T-shirt on, enjoying the sun hitting my body. Natural vitamin D.
Love it. It's like 72 degrees, November. I'm like, this is life.
COVID's just falling off my body.
Just peeling off me.
Peeling off me, yeah.
Peel it off.
Because of the sun.
Just shedding it off.
And we're being funny. We're not being political.
No,
people,
shedding
please.
off all my negative
I'm tired
energy.
of all this.
Yeah.
It's all negative energy, isn't it?
I read an interesting study. You ready for this? It has nothing to do with COVID. Interesting study on the microbiome of your skin. That you are more likely to get the common cold because you use body wash.
Well, I can imagine that. There's a whole thing about that. Like I know, like they're talking about Hollywold stars, not like Ashton Kutcher and his Mila Kunis. They only shower like once a week.
Yeah. So I'll share my habit. I don't care. So I was reading the research on it and I started looking into it. I'm like, wow, there's actually something here. I shower every day, but only with water. Right? And then once a week, I'll use just the smallest amount of detergent in concentrated areas that don't see any light, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm just sharing that because I'm a human being. We all know what we're talking about.
Yes.
But apart from that, I don't smell. Nothing. I'm just... You know, like you're sniff like a baby, like smells like a baby.
Yeah.
You know, it's just skin. You know, that's all it is.
That is interesting.
But I looked at it and the research said that actual microbiome is protecting other things. It's like
I heard like mouthwash is that way too. Like it can kill, like Listerine or something kills everything.
It's bad actually.
Yeah.
So it naturally, this is like your first line of defense. Think about how absorbent skin is anyway.
Dude, it's like a sponge.
It's like a sponge.
Yeah.
You know, so I've gone to just water for 6 out of the 7 days of the week.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see this year if I catch any common cold.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Because this is a new test for me. I read the research, makes sense.
Or the Foxtrot variant or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. Variant. Delta, Foxtrot. Yeah, Tango variant.
Tango variant, maybe.
Zeta variant.
Cool. Yeah.
They actually came from Zeta Reticuli and came down here.
Aliens are crossbreeding with us and giving us COVID.
Well, speaking of that, aliens are using the TARTLE API.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah. So if you're watching right now, let's get to the brass tacks on the episode. We're talking about supercharging your startup. Okay? You know, or any other business in general, but startups, they need this the most. They have to prove out their product, or they have to enhance their AI or machine learning algorithms, right, for their servers. I don't care if it's a dating app, what have you. You need human input. That's what makes things sing. So we've gone through the effort to make a very public-facing API. We're making the document widely available for anybody who becomes a buyer on TARTLE to come in and tie in their servers to our servers to make direct server talk, to keep it in the most layman's terms possible. It's like, I'm going to have my technology speak to your technology, and they're going to automatically buy data and have it aggregate directly into our servers and then help our algorithms enhance themselves with real human input. The whole idea here is that it adds a whole new dimension of analysis to what you're doing. It actually gives your business depth. It pulls it out of 2 dimensions and puts it into 3 dimensions, the world that human beings live in. Okay? So when you can capture that input from the people that are going to be using your products or services, and you can ethically do it and automatically have it consistently ramping up and enhancing your systems to offer them something that works better, you got to do it.
So give me like a case study or an example.
Okay, great. You want a good example? A lot of new fintech startups are trying to disrupt the underwriting processes, right? So if we want to do like a little insurance startup or something like that, this insurance startup is going to have their own client onboarding process.
Yes.
So through that process, you're going to get your basic info, but then you got to go deeper. Information that you couldn't otherwise get by going to that party directly and asking them for it. So you would tie into TARTLE's API You tell your server to make a call to buy data from this individual to enhance the actuarial tables on which you're trying to underwrite this person with. Like, oh my gosh. Before we were limited to what we could say this risk profile was, but now we've collected all this information automatically, and our algorithms have taken it and ingested it and given us an output. We can now give these people a better rate. We have a better understanding of our end user, and you've done it automatically. So the reason we did this is we wanted to allow people to enhance their products, services, apps, whatever it might be, by having those direct conversations with our servers without you having to go in and like buy the stock on our, what I would say looks like a TD Ameritrade trading system, our general user interface. Let's just use it. Let's design it for developers, and we want you to get creative. We want you to help yourself by uplifting what you are creating. We want you to get direct feedback into the market of people you're trying to get into.
So let's say I'm CIO of a startup.
Okay.
CTO, whatever. CEO, it doesn't matter. And I this sounds interesting to me. What are steps that I can take to move in this direction?
Yeah, this is great. That's a really good question, Jason. You're gonna go to TARTLE. You're gonna sign up as a buyer. Doesn't cost you anything. And then you are going to look at our API documentation, which is short and sweet. It's just like Stripe. 7 to 10 lines of code, you're set up. You're already using it, right? You're going to pull that into your staging servers, something that's not live yet, and you're going to see what data you can pull down, sandbox data. Test it just to make sure it works.
Right.
Okay? And then once you're like, okay, this works well, you say, hey, TARTLE, can we have our real API credentials for production? Sure. You just send us the quick little request. We'll get back to you as fast as possible. And then you're off to the races with buying data from the real open market all across the globe. So whether you're a startup in the United States or a startup outside of it, you can supercharge your data sets, your algorithms, your products and services by tying directly into our API. Here's the best part. We don't charge you for calling on the API. It's free to call. Many other businesses out there, if they're like, oh, we have an API offering, every single time you access the API, they charge you. And it's all contract basis out of control. No, ours is totally public facing, totally open, free to use. The only time you pay is when you are paying for somebody's data.
So outcome. Startups in New Hampshire, startups in New Mexico, startups in North Carolina, wherever it may be. What is the outcome for TARTLE, and what is the vision and the reason for us doing this project?
We've all seen that many technology companies, large ones, have bloomed into these big things, amalgamous things that are just pulling things together, taking people's data, using it really without any clear consent for what is going on, and certainly not compensating them for its use. The idea here is that the next generation of these technology companies that have seen the mistakes of the ones previously will understand that their foundations, their bases are ethically designed, that they're architected to benefit truly that end user, not solely for the benefit of the company itself. Companies are changing. They're becoming benefit corporations. They're here to put people first before profits. So your technology has to do the same thing. And so what we want to do is we want to supercharge the United States. We want to supercharge venture capital portfolios, all their companies underneath it, and anybody that wants to get creative. And we do not want to limit the access to people's creativity to do so.
That's good, yeah.
If it's free to sign up on TARTLE to use the system, it also needs to be free access to use the API. Otherwise, we're being hypocritical and we're not doing something right. Our idea is that the United States and any other business outside of that is coming together to use this, we are then leading what the world should look like, being that leader in technology, really paying homage to the human beings that use your systems that make them fruitful, that allow for that economic opportunity. Everybody should share in that process through work.
So I'm sold. I'm in.
Thank you.
I'm a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do this? How do I get a hold of you?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what if I have questions? I just don't want to hop on and become a buyer. I want to have a conversation with someone.
Yeah, so you can actually reach out to our customer service line, right? You can just say, here's what the request is. So contact@tartle.co, or you can send a ticket to help@tartle.co. That goes right into our ticketing system. And we can guide you towards the appropriate individuals that can help answer those questions. And we would love to do an exploratory call with you. If you want to get creative, we'll get creative with you. We're here to work. We're not just like something given to you, like, go figure it out. No. We're here to help you through that process. Our documentation is world-class. And for anyone that's technical, we've created a body of Swagger documentation so that no matter what programming language you're using, you'll be able to tie what we do into your system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect
sense. We're completely agnostic to whatever you're using.
No, I love that. Tartle.co.
Yeah.
Click buyer, sign up, go in there, get the documentation.
Yep.
Give it to your developers if you don't know.
Yep. And if you keep an eye out, in the future, we will be holding online hackathons and in-person ones here in New Mexico and also in the Miami area for individuals to show up, developers, right, startups, and that night tie themselves into the API in short order and start doing their first purchases. Start pulling that stuff into your servers. Start really learning.
Yes. That's
we
beautiful.
don't want anyone to believe anymore. We want them to know for a fact. Because when we know for a fact, that's when we really evolve.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.